Reading from the 13th chapter of Mark. In those days following the distress, the sun will be darkened and the moon will not give light. And the stars will fall from the sky, and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. At that time men will see the Son of Man coming in clouds with great power and glory. He will send his angels and gather his elect from the four winds, from the ends of the earth to the ends of the heavens. Now learn this lesson from the fig tree. As soon as its twigs get tender and its leaves come out, you know summer is near. Even though that, when you see these things happening, you know that it is near, right at the door. But verily I say this generation will certainly not pass away until all these things have happened. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. No one days the day or hour, or not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, only the Father. Be on guard, be alert. You know not what time this will come. It's like a man going away. He leaves his house and puts his servants in charge, each with their task to do, and tells the one at the door to keep watch. Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know when the owner of the house will come back, whether in the evening or at midnight or when the rooster crows or even at dawn. And if he comes suddenly, do not let him find you sleeping. What I say to you, I say to everyone, watch. The word from the Lord in the house of the Lord. I especially love the way Paul starts his letter to the church at Corinth, his second letter to the church in Corinth, where he said, every time I hear your name, it gives me a great feeling. That isn't what he said. I'm paraphrasing, you notice. Every time I hear about you, I'm just so glad that the Lord found you where you are. Every time. What a recommendation it is to know that somebody cares about you and the things you do every time you do them. We're so often doing things that nobody even notices. We're so often doing things that nobody ever hears about. Well, we got a picture in the paper this time. And sometimes I wonder, do I need a press agent? Do I need to have somebody who can get us more publicity for what we're doing? And yet I remember that Jesus reminded the publican who stood in the temple and prayed out loud and said, oh, thank God I'm not like other men, for I'm nearly perfect. He said, be like the one who cries out quietly, saying, forgive me, I am a sinner. Save me, I am a sinner. So I don't know that we need any more publicity for what we do. We do enough without it. No, we don't. How much more can we do? How much more can we be as part of the Church of God? What do we think about? What's our attitude about things? We're part of the United Methodist Church, a worldwide organization that sponsors missions and missionaries around the world, that reaches out and touches lives wherever they are and makes them different. We pay an apportionment to them. And I like to call it a portion meant for those with little. It's just a gift from us who have much to those who have nothing. Most of you don't even know how much it is. Most of the time, I don't know how much it is. But it's what we consider as our duty and our privilege to be part of this worldwide organization that we represent. But what we have to be careful of is the attitudes that we carry into the things that we do. Sometimes it's difficult to see the way we need to see. I love to talk about my brother. I've got an older brother who is a professor emeritus from Cornell University. He taught meat at the university level. Most people didn't know that was a university level kind of a course, but that's not what he did. At one time he was part of the Peace Corps. I knew I'd get that right there. And he taught people how to slaughter guinea pigs. Not your little pet, but the ones they grow in Central and South America. And the Peace Corps workers were going to go down into Central and South America and help the impoverished. And one of the things to get meat into their diet was to teach them to grow guinea pigs and how to slaughter them and use all of the meat. And he got a PhD to do that, see. Not that we don't want to think PhDs are wasted. No. But that's not his big thing. His big thing was that he was a pioneer in ultrasound for the use of tissue evaluation long before the medical society ever decided to use it. He was on a contract from Michigan State University to establish a university in Africa. He was there to go ahead and to help them set up the labs and so forth for the agricultural school. And he flew in to Africa and got out of the plane as was sorely impressed with how dirty, filthy the airport was. And he proceeded to go on into the hinterlands for 30 days under contract to Michigan State University. And when he came back to that airport to fly out, he was amazed at how clean it was. And it was no different. He'd had his attitude, he'd had his reception of things different after 30 days. It's very much like the people who were established and they got new neighbors across the street. This young couple moved in across the street, and the first Monday on laundry day, and the young lady across the street hung out her laundry. And the wife said to her husband, "Her laundry is dingy. She doesn't do a very good job." And next week, she hung out the laundry, and again, the woman said, "It's just awful. It's dingy. It is not sparkling." And the next week, when she hung out the laundry, the wife said, "Look at it. It's amazing. It's bright and shiny, and the whites are..." And the husband said, "I washed the windows." It isn't what is, it's what our concept of what is. And it's what we can do with that concept. It's what we can do as a church to make those kinds of things happen. How many people are looking at dingy windows instead of looking for the glory of God? And what can we do about it? Oh, we can have a Thanksgiving dinner and take care of a few hundred, and we can, or 100 or so, or we can do this, or we can do that. But unless we can touch the hearts of people, we aren't doing the task that we have at hand. Isaiah said, "God, come down, and you've deserted us, and we need your help. You need to make us different so that you can love us again. Oh, help us that we don't have to be different so that God can love us again. For he loves us as we are. And he wants to use us as we are." Jesus, in his comments, said, "This generation will not pass away before they see the glory of God." And we realize now that he was talking to a very close audience with little glimpse of worldwide things. And when he said this generation, what he meant very simply, I feel, is that the people who are there must change, must reach out, must become more Christ-like before they die. or they will die eternally. Yeah, we're like servants. We keep the house because God isn't here right now. Well, He's here, but He's not doing the things. It's up to us to do the things that God needs done so that His house will stand. And His house will be a servant's place for those who need Christ. That's what we're here for. We're not here to aggrandize a dinner. We're not here to make public statements in the newspaper. We're here to serve the people who are without Christ. And any way that we can touch those lives is the way that He calls on us to do it. Or we have a myriad of missions that we do, people we touch on a regular basis, and we sometimes forget in our doing good that we could do more, that we could do better, that we could represent a more loving Christ than we do. It's our task to find out how it is that we can be more, how we can be better, how we can be servants, true servants, to the Word of Christ. Before this generation passes on, this generation, the one standing right here, we need to learn more of what Christ would have us do. We need to learn more of what Christ calls for us to do, because He doesn't leave us alone. Oh, sometimes His whisper is so loud that we can't ignore it. Sometimes His shout is so quiet that it calls our attention immediately. The servant who's put at the door when the master leaves has two tasks: to protect the house and to welcome the master home. When the master comes home, he gets his feet washed. He gets his robe put around his shoulders. He's immediately fed. That's the task of the servant, to be ready, to watch out, and to take care. To put a royal robe around someone who doesn't know Christ so that he will recognize the sovereignty of the Lord of Lords. To wash the feet so that they understand the true meaning of servanthood. And they feed not just the stomach, but they feed the spirit with the love that has been emplaced and in the trust that has been given. The amazing amount of trust Christ gives to us to do the task that we do in this place and in all of those around us. And His word to the servants is watch. Don't fall asleep. Don't shun your duty. Watch. Because if we watch, He will show us. If we watch, He will teach us. If we watch, He will lead us. Watch. Amen. The word is watch. The word is stay awake. The word is hear. Hark. He calls. He calls that you might know His peace, the peace that passes all understanding, the peace of walking hand in hand with the one who gave you life. Go in peace. Amen.